My father was born in Louisiana in 1879, so that's right on the heels of the Civil War. And my mother was born in Philadelphia, Mississippi, in Neshoba County. And they met after both of their previous spouses had passed and started having additional children. He and his first wife had 14 kids. And then he and mom had 4 additional ones, and mom had 8 when she married him, give us about 23 to 24 brothers and sisters or siblings. My family, we were cotton farmers, corn farmers. He also owned a lumber yard where he cut his own timber from land that he had bought and cleared. Well, land is king in Mississippi. So if you're a landowner, then you got a certain amount of respectability because you were able to purchase, pay taxes, and do what you need to do in order to make the land feed you, your family. I was born in 1946, and we were still in a segregated environment then. Of course, people of color went to the black school. It was called the colored school at that time. It was white people went to their schools. But the situation during that time, you kind of knew what the rules were.
In 1968, Harold graduated from Lane College in Jackson, Tennessee, with a degree in history and met his future wife, Frankie.
Harold and I met at Lane College in Jackson, Tennessee, in chemistry class. After college, I went to Memphis, Tennessee, where I had accepted a teaching position at LaRose Elementary School. And Harold went to Evansville to look for work since he had a sister who lived there.
When Harold first came to Evansville, he didn't stay for long before he was drafted into the military to fight in Vietnam. Before he left in 1969, he and Frankie were married. Harold says his time in the military taught him discipline, and he quickly rose to the ranks of platoon leader and was sent to Pleiku, Vietnam. He had learned a new lesson: how to survive.
Sweet Jesus, He carried me sometime in the fire.
I said I was M60 machine gunner over in Vietnam. I was scared. We got in a firefight, which was a confrontation with the enemy. Our job was to try to stay alive, try to keep our comrades alive.
After his military life, Harold returned to Evansville. He worked for the city's Department of Public Works before becoming director of the Head Start Community Action Program. In 1973, Harold went to work at Indiana State University, Evansville, as director of financial aid. In 1982, State Farm came to recruit him to open an agency in Evansville, but he wasn't interested and declined. State Farm was persistent.
I recruited Harold for 2 years. He was the most successful agent I ever recruited and appointed. He wanted to make people feel good about the things they valued most: their family, their home, their automobiles. And Harold is a people person. Harold Calloway is a true friend.
I was a student at ISUE when I met Harold Calloway. At the time, he was the director of the financial aids, and I received a lot of financial aid from ISUE, so I was in his office frequently. I graduated from ISUE in '76, and I took a couple jobs after that, and then I started working at PPG Industries, and I just happened to run into Harold at actually the mall. And I knew he had left the university. I couldn't remember what he was doing, and he told me he was a State Farm agent, and mentioned to me that they might be looking for another agent. After several conversations, I became a State Farm agent, and so I'm grateful, more than grateful, to Harold Calloway to this day for having faith in me and seeing something that maybe I didn't even see in myself, to own my own agency and become a State Farm agent and have a career that otherwise I probably would have never had.
You need somebody to help you in life. We can't get through life alone. And I would tell any young person, one of the best things you're gonna ever have in life is a spouse that's got your back. So a lot of people see your glory, but only she knows the story. In America, everything is possible. Keep your nose clean, try to have a relationship with the Lord. If you go to work, catch your mule out, climb to Dart, and you do that every day, in the fall you're gonna get a harvest. You know, just because you're from Evansville don't mean that you can't be an astronaut or that you can't be a doctor. You know, I mean, they make the same books all over the United States for everybody to use. All we got to do is just use it. I mean, it's here. And God put enough out here for everybody to have some. Don't you feel that way?